Hello and welcome back to another Fate Grandfather video. Yeah, today we'll be continuing with LB7 as usual. Hmm. So we are last time we encountered the last of the Chaldean servants, which was Ereshkigal, which had been altered. So now we are moving on to the seventh stratum. So yeah, Section 14 Terminal Observatory Mitzvitla. And that's the long and short of it. Difficult though the fight was, all we all came through intact. I see, well done. My mind still boggles at the mere idea of a mass of Google Annas. At any rate, that sounds like quite an ordeal. Quite the ordeal. I can't tell how I can't tell you how glad I am that I wasn't there for it. As for you, Kukulkan, are you really the body of light that struck the border? It wasn't a figure of speech or anything. No, it really was me. I'm sorry, I was kind of acting on impulse. I mean, you know how it is when a cute little bird flies into your house, right, director? You just want to give it a big squeeze. This, this was well beyond squeeze. For that matter, we are a beautiful phoenix, not some little bird. There are dozens of things I'd like to say right now, but I also don't want to interfere with my field team's on-site decision. With Kirilite, I'm counting on you two to keep an close eye on Kukulkan. If she starts acting suspicious in any way, throw something at in her eyes and to blind her and put as much distance between you and her as you can. Got that? The evil, the old evil fog maneuver, huh? Got it. I really doubt we'll have to worry about her, but understood. Good. Then continue with operation as planned. You may also be glad to know that our repairs are continuing on schedule. We may not be able to communicate while you are in the underworld, but our connection is holding steady in the standard jungle. So don't just wait for emergency to contact us. If you have any questions about anything, let us know immediately. Alright, that's all for now. The next time we speak, I hope you'll have good news for me. Man, I have no idea, Gordon, for such a worry what. Wait, is he actually more capable than he seems? Is he a reasonable guy? Oh yes, God of Music has been an excellent director of Novum Caldia, and he's proven himself to be a talented mission commander as well. That's true, servants are good at what we do, but on our own, that really just makes us a bunch of individual specialists. For us to work as a part of an organization, we need a leader who can bring us all together. I wouldn't go as far as to say Gordy is perfect in the role, but he's always pushing himself to do the right thing. I guess he's what you'd call a unsung hero, but I wouldn't be surprised if it took center stage one day. So he's a neighbor who learns and grows along with you. It seems there is truly no end to diversity among people of proper human history. At any rate, this seems like a good idea for a short break. Nito Chris, would you keep an eye on our surroundings while I make camp? Nito Chris, is something wrong? Yeah, she's probably thinking about the what Irashki girl said about the alter form. She definitely alters, but when is it? I still do have no idea. Oh yes, comp. Good idea. Out I'll send out some spirits to get rid of any nearby threats. Camp. Nitocris, wait, if you send out spirits in all directions like that. Huh? Why did I hear approaching footsteps? Don't dinos run away from spirits? I remember the ones we saw Kamazot's spirits were all scrambling to get away as fast as they could. Those were normal dinos. The ones wandering around the jungle have lost their minds. So this is why berserkers are so tough. They are not afraid of anything. Oops, this is the first time traveling in the jungle, isn't it, Nitocris? I'm sorry, I should have known better. No problem, we'll just have to drive them away then. You have recovered all your command spells, right? My ally. Then in my capacity as Pharaoh, I will test your newly regained summoning skill pass. Personally. So, are we now able to summon any heroic spirits? Yep, it looks like we can just take anyone. It's berserkers. Sure.
それは絶えず見た滅びの夢。最果てにありながら鳥は明日を歌うでしょう。ロードレス・キャメロン。
平穏を望むなら平穏を維持する努力をせよ。
This was a shorter section than I expected. The battle is over. The dinos who have lost their mind are heading away. There, see, this was a perfect opportunity to verify that you had indeed regenerated your summoning ability. Exactly as planned. Nicely done, Wade. Thanks, but I still can't use the command spells themselves. Yep, you might have regained your ability to summon heroic spirits, which proves you are a master. But it looks like you are still unable to activate your command spells. So once again while you can once again summon servants, you still can't use your command spells to empower them. Leave some gap in your ability as master. It would be more maybe it would be more accurate to call you an apprentice master of a sort, or even just a summoner. I'd actually took a look I actually took a look at the records from the first underworld to see how you ended up like that. And I think you said you made a deal with a mysterious guy in the mysterious place in order to come back to life. Is that right? If you so, you could be stuck like this the whole time we are in Miklan. Alternatively, we just need to teach you whoever made this deal with you a lesson. Since Kamazots had your command spell, it stands to reason that he is the one who made the deal with. Who is the one you made the deal with? I don't think it was Kamazots. So you can't remember where you made the deal or who you made it with. But you are certain it wasn't with Kamazots. This could mean that Kamazots also made a deal with whoever this person was, and so purchased your command spells. All that aside, doesn't it seem like there were an awful lot of mindless dinos earlier? Do they think do do they have a nest here in the seventh stratum or something? No, nothing like that. The seventh stratum is just a comfortable environment for them. For the most dinos and Oslomer, this is a dangerous environment where one false step can kill you. Part of that is because Kamazaz, the god of death, lives nearby in the 8th strata. But it's also because the 8th and ninth strata are filled with poisonous gas and dangerous cosmic rays. No living creature can easily enter those strata. They are just too deadly. Oh, so that's why the drone we sent to survey the 8th strata malfunctioned and stopped working as soon as it entered that area. That probably means the Tree of Emptiness is on the bottommost stratum then. I can't think of anywhere else it would be. I don't think Da Vinci is right about that, but let's move on. Okay, that takes care of the campfire. How about we can the chatter and get camp set up? I've got two tents here, one's for Mash and Da Vinci, the other's for Ved. They are all flesh and blood people, so they need a proper place to sleep. Needless to say, I'll be fine with a bed of grass. I love sleeping on good hard ground. I'm flesh and blood too, you know. You servants turning into spirit forms is no fair, no? Want to stay in my tent then? Oh, good point. You trusted us enough to tell us that you were the one who attacked the storm border. So, as one of our trusted companions, it's only natural that Master would offer you a space in his tent. Only natural. Thanks, but that's okay. I'll just sleep on the ground, like Tepu. I've not quite been around for a year, but I think being alone in a tent with a guy would be a bit much. I mean, if I lost control of myself, then Miklan would really be finished, yes? What do you mean, lost control, huh? It's still hidden. Okay. Mitzitlan. Oh. We finally made it to the top. I can't believe how tall it was. A natural biosphere. This is more like a nature preservatory than an observatory. And it's not like the rest of Miklan either. This place is straight out of Cenozoic, Cre- Crenozoic era, proper human history. I'm not surprised. The Mala has no influence here. This is where the planet's sense of touch was dispatched from the inner sea, the place where the elementals that exist in proper human history were born. Where the planet's sense of touch was dispatched from the inner seas, okay? Elementals that existed in proper human history are were born. Okay. So since the god Flamens didn't create this part of the Mictlan, it makes sense that it would be closer to the environments you are familiar with in proper human history. The planet's inner sea, as in Avalon. Yep, if we think of a planet as a living being, the inner sea is the place for its heart that's guaranteed to exist. You know about reality marbles, right? They're essentially a mage's inner world made manifest, a powerful spell that lays their own mindscape over reality, even if only for a moment. Well, the planet's inner sea is like that, but for Earth. You can think of it as a reality marble the planet itself possesses. That being said, Earth is a big place, and even human hearts contain multitudes. For example, the part of its heart that remains close to the human society, or the part that has a few bones to pick with it. Avalon is just one of several possible sides of that heart. One that prefers nature and eschew connection to human society. So elementals born in the world like that are essentially clones of the planet itself, right? Kukulkan, a moment ago you mentioned the planet's sense of touch. These fleers are born in the planet's inner sea, make their way to Earth's surface, and ultimately return to the inner sea. But if for whatever reason they are unwilling or unable to return, they become fairies, elemental, and divine spirits on the planet's surface. Yeah, though of course some fairies, elementals, and divine spirits manifest in other ways, so we can't say that's how they all came to exist. Meanwhile, there are some elementals who could only have been born in the planet's inner sea. These special spirits are known as the planet's brain. Since they have heart, why not brains too? Anyways, these elementals are born from Earth's earliest memories, which are then inherit themselves. They continuously dream about the things taking place on the planet's surface. In the Magecraft world, these beings are known as archetypes, and the ones up ahead is an incredible recorder of history. So this being known as history of life so this being knows the history of life on this planet long before the first human ever born. But it's I've also heard that archetype takes on the form of a dominant species from that age. This may be a lost belt, but we mustn't forget a lost belt is a hypothetical alternative of proper human history. In which case, might also this archetype also be a humanoid like us? I think Tepu can answer that, right, Tepu? You used to be a researcher here, no? He did. Yeah, he told us about that in the first stratum. Did he told us about that in the first underworld? I think I'm misremembering about hearing it in the first stratum. That's correct. I am Tepu the Stargazer. You know, I have made the trip between Chichen Itza and Seven Stratum countless times. I've never heard of an archetype before, but though that must be another bit of knowledge the cryptor brought over. Though I get the sense you have known the term for some time, Kuklukan. I'm sorry, feeling alone just wasn't enough to convey the concept clearly. Man, words are perfect for this stuff. So, Cuckoo knows about the archetypes because of her noble phantasm, which looks like the I'll just say Lumina form. That's that's interesting if they go over what that is too. The Mala watch over us. They keep their opinions entirely on to themselves. I'm surprised that Kukulkan, the teachings of the sun herself, would be born to a rule like that. Oh well, I couldn't fail to note that Jukwa Squeak 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 isn't like Squeak isn't like other dinos. Though I also suspect that Miklan's archetype is different from one in proper human history. Miklan itself is already much like the planet's inner sea. It's closed off from both the surface and outer space, unaffected by changes. For the archetype born here, it must feel positively suffocating since she'll never get to see outside it. Is Mashu thinking about herself because she was also born and raised in the laboratory and didn't know much about outside world? A picture's worth 1,000 words. Let's keep going. You'll see what I mean once you meet her yourself. Oh, and a word of warning. Under no circumstances should you adapt a combat stance, no matter how surprised you may be. This archetype is both highly sensitive and easily hurt if we scare her off. She'll be useless for at least a few days. Okay. I see the inside is full of water too. Hello, Shik. I think we are going to be saying that name for a long time, so I'll just see the pronunciation. How to pronounce? Okay. Shiki. Is it straight up just Shiki? Yup, Shiki. Okay, sure. Hello, Shikik. I brought some guests from Proper Human History here to see you. They have some questions I'd like to ask. They'd like to ask. Could you please come out now? Please try to get past your shyness. They'll find you quickly enough anyway. You are not hidden nearly as well as you think. There is a proper human history saying that goes when you could cover your head, don't leave your bottom exposed. Well, we could see your bottom. That is your tail quite clearly. Uh, what do you mean, Big Brother Tepu? I was just working up the courage is all. Okay, here I go. Here goes. I'm gonna welcome our guest properly, just like a good shrine maiden would. Yep, I have seen that design. Hello everyone, it's nice to meet you all. Thank you for coming all this way from Chichen Itza. She's pretty big considering I didn't expect her to be this big. I'm Shikik. My job is watching over McClellan's journey from here in this moon plateau. There is much I don't know about the wider world, so I might say the wrong things now and then. So please bear with me. She 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 she's huge. Yup, a diplodocus. You are an actual diplodocus. Your species was the largest herbivore dinosaur on the earth. Only you are even bigger than the ones from proper human history. You must be at least 60 meters from head to tail. This is amazing. Thank you, child of proper human history. You have a lovely voice, just as I thought you would. Huh? Do you know who I am? Did Kuklukan tell you about us? Tell you about me? No, I saw you myself. I can see all the way to the second stratum from here, in fact. But unlike Kuklukan, I couldn't hear your voice, so I never learned your names. Would you mind introducing yourself now? Thank you. Ved, Mash, Habitrot, Da Vinci, and Nitocris. Even the sound of your names are unlike anything found here. But they are all so beautiful. I'm glad to have a chance to hear them for myself. Thank you, Shikik. I think your name is beautiful too. Also, I hope you don't mind, but I noticed you called Tepu Big Brother earlier. Is if it's not too rude, may I ask what your relationship is? Oh my, Tihi, my. That even that you even thought to ask me the question tells me we are getting along wonderfully, Mash. As for Big Brother Tepu's and my relationship, we are just acquaintances. We met when I first came to this observatory to study the stars. Don't take her calling me Big Brother seriously. That's just something she does. It's honestly kind of absurd. Shikik is 6 million years old and I am only 1,000. Even 1,000 is quite a lot from where I stand. I see. So why do you refer to Tepu as your big brother, rather than Shiki? Because ever since we first met, he's been bossing me around. I'm something of a special dinos, you see. Most dinos never come here because this observatory means nothing to them. But Big Brother Tepu kept showing up unannounced a lot. He also said I was a good for nothing and a waste of space, also a lot. I did not. Now, would you please stop with the unnecessary small talk and do your job as the eye of the observatory? There, see, he's always scolding me like that just because he happens to know lots of things. Um, is this one of those? Yes, he's the type of big brother figure who acts cold on the outside but still comes to check on her out of concern. Ah, I swear, when you finally, when you finally going to grow out of your such childish nonsense, going to grow out of such childish nonsense. Never. You know as well as I do. I am the eternally 1 year old. Well, I suppose that's true. Since you were born as an extension of planet's sense of touch, I'll never grow or mature mentally. That's why you refer to me as your older brother from your perspective. Everyone will always be older than you. Alright, wait. Da Vinci, go ahead and ask Shiki what you'd like to know. She sees everything that happens in Miklan. So if anyone knows what David has been doing for the past year, it's her. David, you want to know about David? Yeah, we do. Do you know who he is? Oh yes, he came here almost immediately after he first arrived in Miklan. He told me to tell him the truth about Miklan and its history, and to do it in 5 minutes before he couldn't have time because he didn't have time to spare on us. I knew he was a visitor from proper human history, but I also didn't have any reason to refuse, so I told him what he asked for. In proper human history terms, this was exactly 1 year ago. That does match the time the cryptor first showed up. Hold on, you know about proper human history and the Lostbelt before the cryptor arrived, right? Then why did you do what he asked? From where you stand, anyone from proper human history would be an invader. Good question. As an archetype, I was aware Miklan is not Earth's true environment. I could also foresee that David would use the knowledge he gained from me to form the Osloma and begin hunting dinos. That's very sad, of course, but it was still no reason to refuse him. Everyone has different worldviews, principles, and values. No two people think exactly the same way. And reaching true mutual understanding almost never happens. That's why everyone must be treated equally. We all know it's wrong to disregard other people's time, ideals, and lives just because they live far away, or because you have never met them, or you have no connection to them, or it won't be to your benefit. This is the code of ethics for dealing with lives we dinos have arrived at over a very, very long time. Just give me a sec, I'll be back. Okay, let's continue. We don't discriminate either positively or negatively towards anyone regardless of how strong or weak they might be. Dinos treat all forms of life equally. After all, a society where only special people are given special treatment would simply be wrong, wouldn't it? As I thought, it seems she's deeply impressed, Mash. Yes, Shiki compelled, compi- uh, compiled with complied with David's demand, which is why she'll now do the same for you. Now let's get down to business. What has David been doing and what is he planning next? There is no need to discuss anything else. It's not like you to be impatient, Big Brother Tepu. If you want to know David's objective, then you should also know what he asked me. Isn't that how you would normally approach things like this? Good point. That information is definitely crucial, and I am also interested in hearing something. Interested in hearing it. Is something wrong, Tepu? You have been kind of restless ever since we got here. Have I? I suppose I have. I must have gotten I must have gotten more worked up than I realized over being back in the observatory after such a long time away. Alright, I'll leave the question to you, Da Vinci. In the meantime, I'll go prepare the pro- proper ritual. I don't think Tipu's irritated so much as he's suffering. Suffering? Alright. I guess I'll handle the question then. Popol ritual. Alright, I'll handle the questions then. You said David asked you to tell him the truth about the Mictlan and its history, right? Our understanding is that this lost belt began when dinosaurs became the dominant species. No, wait, that's not right. It began when the fifth of the Big Five, the meteoroid collision that wiped out nearly all life on Earth's surface. Afterwards, the filaments, like alien life form that came here on the meteorite, restored the land after everything had burned down. Then they chose the dinosaurs as to serve as their host and used them to create Miklan. That's our current working theory. Anyways, we on the right track? Whoa, too pre- you're too precious, Da Vinci. I'm amazed you have been thinking about things that happened in the time long before. Anyways, yes, that's all correct. Well, some of the finer details differ a little. In proper human history, the filament came to Earth on the meteorite that crashed into Yucatan Peninsula 66 million years ago, at the end of the Cretaceous period. But in this lost belt, that meteorite crashed here with them about 300 million years ago at the end of the Carboniferous period. The filaments that came here from outer space and ended up stranded here are called mala in our native tongue. When they first landed, they used a network of plant roots to stabilize the supercontinent Pangea and keep it from breaking apart into smaller continents. So this lost belt actually started 300 million years ago, back when Pangea still existed. 300 million years ago, before even the third of the Big Five took place. Oh wait, so that's why Ved was talking about the Carboniferous period before. Okay, that makes a lot start to add up. In proper human history, 95% of the Paleozoic era aquatic life went extinct during the transition from Permian period to the Triassic period. That was when dinosaurs stopped in as the dominant life form, since they were better suited for that environment. After that, Pangea split apart into Laurasia continent to the north and Guan, Guandwa, Gondwana continent to the south, which scattered the dinos all across the world. But if Pangea hasn't fractured, then the dinosaurs' paradise would have had much greater opportunity to flourish. And as long as the dinosaurs remained at the top of the food chain, there would be no choice for mammals to evolve into intelligent life form. So that was how Mictlan began. How the Mala's early arrival changed this world so dramatically. But what about the fourth extinction event? But what about the fourth extinction event at the end of the Triassic period? And the meteorite that crashed into the Yucatan Peninsula at the end of the Cretaceous. Wouldn't either of those have prevented this lost belt from occurring? I don't know about the fourth and fifth extinction event from proper human history, but McClellan did have a fourth one. It was 66 million years ago at the end of the Cretaceous period, the same time the fifth extinction event in proper human history, the Yucatan Peninsula meteorite. Once again, a meteorite collided with this planet, burning away everything that on their surface and threatening the dinosaurs with extinction. That's when the Mala came to the rescue. The Mala foresaw the meteorite's impact and built a shelter deep underground. They are collected. They then collected all the. They then collected all the energy on the surface on the Earth and redirected it to create a subterranean paradise. All the heart and energy that would have gone otherwise gone into restoration. The surface over the next 3 million years went into creating Biosphere 3. The result is the McClellan we have today. Since then and for the last 66 million years, McClellan has never been a world for the dinos. I can barely imagine times past a few thousand years, let alone millions. Yeah, this stuff is all the way above my head. I'll have to have Marsh give me a very short summary later. I see. So that's why the surface was still post-apocalyptic. The seas were dried up and volcanic activities were out of control, and the skies were covered in dense thunderclouds. It's all and that's and it's all because the energy that would have normally gone to letting nature take its course went into McClellan instead. So here, over the course of almost 100 million years, the Mala gained control over Earth's surface, but that would never happen in proper human history. In proper human history, the meteorite that carried the Mala was the one responsible for the fifth extinction event that happened 66 million years ago. That meteorite wiped out the dinosaurs and caused more huge changes in Earth's ecosystem that led to mammals taking over, and over the next 40 million years humankind's ancestors were born. The Mala had their hands fibers full of maintaining their own environment, and so by becoming part of Mesoamerican myth, they chose to coexist with its people. Sorry about that. So, by becoming part of Mesoamerican myth, they chose to coexist with its people. The Mala might have been the Dino survivor, but it sounds like it was a little more complicated for the Earth as a whole. I mean, they basically took a significant portion of Earth and fashioned it into a home for themselves. As an archetype, what do you think about it? Does it feel like you are robbed or something? What, like, curse you, you damn invaders? Not at all. The planet seems to be quite happy as long as its life is flourishing, regardless of what form it takes. Besides, if we are talking about invaders, there is one that label fits much better. In fact, that invader was the impetus behind Mictlan's creation. In proper human history, the Mala was responsible for the Earth's fifth major event, extinction event, and created the Yucatlan Peninsula's mythological world. But in our Lostbelt, something else was responsible for our third major extinction event, a meteorite that burrowed its way deep below Mictlan. Like the Mala, it was an invader which arrived 66 million years earlier than it should have, owing the slide of devastation in its course. Is she talking about Ord? A planet-eating monster that came here from the Oort cloud in the far reaches of the solar system. Oh, okay. Just give me a sec. I thought that Oort was type Mercury. Yeah, it is type Mercury. It also came from Oort cloud, so in notes it is referred to as type Mercury, right? Okay, okay. Where is it? Yep, it is referred to as type Mercury. I thought that I misremembered it or something. Anyways, let's see what she has to say about it. Or, okay. So that's where comes in. It would be nice if someone made a timeline to help me track of all this. So Ort came to Mictlan early, but that would mean the dinos should never have prospered to the extent they have. Wait, I got it. Ort must have died in the impact. That's why no one can find it here, no matter how hard they look. No one has seen it because it's already dead. I don't think so, Da Vinci. If it's dead, then how is he going to be attacking? It's not like the parasites are gonna be invading the Ort's body and controlling him or anything, because that could happen, but I don't know. Oh no, Ort went on quite the rampage after it arrived. It actually completely destroyed Mictlan once. You're kidding me. Oh man, I was completely off again. But how? But then how in the world did the dinos survive? Please tell us, Shikik. Again. Da Vinci. Oh no, you're adorably smart, Da Vinci. That guess was almost entirely correct. Or did die when it fell to Earth. It just didn't die the same way most living things do. 60 million years after Ort first fell to Mictlan and ceased to function, It suddenly began to function again just when the dinos finally arrived at their ethereal approaching to dealing with life. Ethereal approach, okay. That was our world's fourth major extinction event. That was when the Earth. That was also when Earth gave birth to me. And so, all life in Miklan banded together to defeat Ort, and they succeeded. The end. But since Ort doesn't die, like we do, it's born to come back again. So this world did already have its fourth major extinction event. That must mean the Ort attack Wade and Mash saw in the Mexico City will be the fifth. I see. Now I understand. Mash, would you summarize all that for us? Yes, gladly. It would be too confusing to cross-reference Miklan's history with proper human history. So I'll just make a timeline for this lost belt alone. Miklan's history. 300 million years ago, the Lost Belt began. The Mala fall to Pangea on a meteorite and stabilized it with a network of plant roots. For the next 100 million years, Earth is a paradise ruled by dinosaurs. 66 million years ago, the third mass extinction event, the Mala detected the third mass extinction event. The Mala detect a meteorite or heading towards Earth. The Mala created Miklan's underground along with an artificial sun. They evacuate all life from the surface to Miklan. This last line, they evacuated all life from the surface to Miklan. Because didn't Tipu said that they all hibernated, and when the dust was cleared, they were in Miklan or something like that? Or am I confusing it with other thing he said? The meteorite ore punches through the surface to land in Miklan, embedding itself in the lower stratum. The impact caused it to stop functioning. 20 million years ago, Miklan is thriving. Paras Proconsul, a predecessor of humanity, are born in Miklan as well. 6 million years ago, the fourth mass extinction event Ort reactivates. Shikik is born. Ort is shut down. 1 year ago, proper human history culture leak. The crypto leads a cultural invasion which the dinos welcome. Now I see. Great work, Mash. That was very clear. Oh, compared to Shiki, I may as well be a minuscule Kyrielite. So what's with the part marked in red? Oh, Shikik added those. She said they were important. Okay, now I got a pretty full picture. It's clear that Ort does exist and is still a threat. No wonder David asked you about all this. Now we are both on equal footing in terms of info. Oh no, I didn't tell David any of this. I was going to, but he said he didn't need to hear it because he'd already figured it out himself. Bruh. Hang in there, Da Vinci. Then what did David ask you? The location of Ort's remains? No, he asked me if the sun had ever gone out. As in Miklan's artificial sun. Why would he want to know if it had ever gone out before? It must have to do with Otsumat's belief that human sacrifice can revive the sun. Now I see. I thought it was just a recreation of the Aztec mythology that Tezcatlipoca spread here. But if the sun really had gone out before, that would definitely explain the Oslomat's religious fav- uh, favor. Hmm. Teppu also told us that the sun had gone out once before, or was were we in different perspective then? I don't know, but I think that was mentioned before. Teppu even told us once the Miklan sons went into a hibernation of sort for a time. Yep, that's what I was thinking about. So what did you tell him, Shikik? The truth, of course. I told him that 6 million years ago the sun disappeared around the time Earth resumed functioning. And I told him that was when the Khan kingdom, the non Dino civilization that was also flourishing at the time, died out. Hold up, Khan wasn't a Dino's nation. This is the first time I'm hearing about that. It was pretty obvious from the skeleton remains that uh, Kamazots revived. Yeah, it was obvious. The structures that they build, plus the uh, plus the skeleton remains. So you are saying that a long time ago there used to be another non-Dino civilization here besides Mexico City. That's right. That's why I added the part in red about Proclor Proconos. Proconsul. 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 So it just means that the ancient humans or the first human-esque creatures, the predecessors of the ape, like she mentioned up here, right? Yep, ape predecessors of humanity. Proconsul began being born earlier. For 100,000 years, a human kingdom flourished in Mictlan too. They were much weaker than Dinos, but they had a great talent for engineering. Towards the end of the kingdom's life, they built a flying ship very similar to your Stormboard. That ship is the only reason Mictlan was able to fight back against Ort. Khan's soldiers accepted modifications to their body which made them invulnerable. They fought to the last warriors. It was their effort that drove Ort down into the bottom stratum. Ort sunk into the sea of magma and Mictlan regained the light it had lost. But the cost of victory was the entire kingdom of Khan. Now the remains of one of the cities have been repurposed into Chichen Itza. Not many Dinos know that, though Big Brother Teppu is probably the only one and only because he figured it out on his own. So that's the Khan soldier story. Yep. So those soldiers enhanced their body for bodies to last for 6 million years, and now they stay intact even in death. No wonder those dead spirits were so tired and full of regret. Shiki, did no one from Khan survive? Was every last one of them really wiped out? Oh no, one of them is still alive. The king of Khan, who dealt with all the finishing blow 6 million years ago after losing all his people, is alive today. His modified body ended up so strong that he was no longer able to die. In 6 million years since he went insane and began to fly around the underworld, a bat of death. He's still out there even now. The brave king, whose brave king's name is Kamazos, the maddened king who continues to search for people of Khan through, though they no longer exist. Okay. Hmm. So he is their king. That was a longer node.
"出陣します。私の後に続きなさい。あまり悩ませないように式はこうしてあげるもの。食べなさい。好きありあり。もちろん。あなたが今
I would love to see
の光を
our
忘れぬように。
arc
天場で悪だ
conversation with the Shiki. It would probably be a very fun conversation because both of them are archetypes right now. So yeah, that would be cool, but probably not in this lost build, if I had to guess.
簡単に終わらないよう全て見つめます。よろしい。よく言いました。逃がすものか。せーの、よいしょー。さて、どこから潰したもの？ねえ、反省した？目に映るもの、すべてを灰に。それは絶えず見た滅びの夢。最果てにありながら鳥は明日を歌うでしょう。ロードレス・キャメロット。何を喜んでいるのです。私が出たのです。勝利は約束されていたはずですわ。
Just give me a sec. Okay. It's going to be a little longer before I can show you what David is up to. Would you mind waiting outside? Oh, then could I ask you to neutralize the mindless dinos wandering around this dome? The scent of the me- Mejoki and Palki we use in the ritual tends to attract them, you see. What ritual is he doing? Okay, we finished chasing all the mindless dinos that were near the dome back into the jungle around the base. Now we just have to wait for Teppo to come let us know when Shikik is ready. Gotcha. I'll just go take a little break in the shade. I want to make sure I have everything we learned straight. I'm going to go back to my base form too. I've been out a lot lately, so I should try to conserve magical energy. Sounds like you could all Sounds like you could all use a little break. Since we have a lovely lake right here, would you like to go swimming? Can you breathe underwater too, Kukulukan? Why would you even ask? Of course I can. On land, underwater, in outer space, I'm fine everywhere, anywhere. What about you, Nitocris? You probably went swimming in the Nile River, huh? Oh, Nitocris went back up to the dome. She's there. There was something she wanted to ask Shikik. Why is it worded like this? She said she had something she wanted to ask Shikik. I see. Shikik is really knowledgeable, so I'm sure she'll get the answer she's looking for. So speaking of Shikik, that reminds me. Using proper human history terms, do you think Teppo and Shikik are married or lovers or something along those lines? Oh my, got a bit of curious side to you, huh, Mash? Do you really want to know? I don't mean anything by it. I was just thinking it would be nice if that was the case. Oh, I agree that would be. But those two will always be just friends. As much as Shikik may look like a Tino's, the truth is she isn't. She'll never be able to live among peers, be involved with them, or be freed from her duties. Her job is to to supervise all of Miklan. It's been that way since she was born and will continue to be until she dies. She'll never be able to leave Mata's Mitzatlin, no matter what. First, Teppo refused to accept that and he looked for a way to freeze Shikik, but it was no use. Before, I couldn't imagine he would choose to move to the first stratum on his own. But now that I have a human form, I think I understand. Knowing that he'd failed to save Shikik, Teppo couldn't allow himself a happy life. So he moved all the way to the edge of the world to be alone. There he studied the concept of death as a way to punish himself. The concept of death. Why that? It's not my place to say, not while my own maidenly heart is still actively maturing. Growing up. Speaking of which, Kuklukan, there is something else we have been wondering about. Do you always look the way you do now? The dinos are Miklan's dominant species. Since you are the god, shouldn't you look like one yourself? Are you saying I lack common sense? Just kidding. Don't worry, I'm not bad. I still don't really get common sense or feeling, but I at least know that they are important. Anyways, yes, I am a god and I did originate here in Miklan. But this form is something I only recently gained. Before that, I was just the teachings of the sun. a wind only the dinos could sense. A year ago, when knowledge of proper human history came first to Miklan, we learned of gods. That's when the sound Kuklukan formed in the name of a god. That was the instant in which I gained this form. All of a sudden, that couldn't be seen had a shape. Things that could only be sensed could now be spoken as a fact, as fact. For us, the shock was big enough to rock the world to its foundations. Gods can only be born from intelligent humanoid beings. So that's what we should be, right? We should be too. And just like that, I was tossed out into Chichen Itza, stark naked. Naked. Yes, at that time I didn't have any emotions. So I just started talking to the priest as I was. It wasn't long before I realized I didn't feel quite right and that I might be doing something inappropriate. So I absorbed all of proper human history's common sense in one go, then stole some clothes from Dino's standing closest to me, which was Steppu, by the way. He'd already retired to the first stratum by that point, but he'd always listened to me closely back when we were still just a wind. I see. I think I can imagine what you were like back then. And from there, you ran straight to Mexico City high fashion, right? I try really hard to forget that whole thing, so please don't ask Tepu about it. Anyway, that's how I ended up in a human form. One based off the Kuklukan of proper human history. Shikik, an archetype who'll forever remain mentally 1 year old. But I am a god, and actually I am just 1 year old. After that, I found that snot nosed brat. I mean, young Tezcatlipoca riding at Dino's and playing king near Chichen Itza, and I made him its actual king. Then I ran off to Mexico City to spend all my time having fun and experiencing all the latest culture. Yes, I see. So you wanted to try in a big city. I can definitely understand that. If I had been in your position, I can see myself sneaking out of Kardia base and paying a visit to the nearest town of Ush, Ushi, Ushu, I, Aya myself. But never mind that now. Putting together everything you have told us, it sounds like you are not actually a Dino's god. Instead, you are born from Mala, Miklan's creator, and you serve as their representative. Does that mean you are actually archetype Miklan then? Hey, yeah. If we consider meteorite a planet too, then it could have also had a mind of its own. That's right, which is why Shikik and I get along so well. She's basically archetype Meta Earth, so she also knows what it is like to feel to become an archetype you wanted to be. You wanted to know how Kamazots turned servants into guardians of the underworld. Yes, a command spell alone should not have been able to cause complete alteration. There must be something more to it. Some sort of secret or ritual that transforms their very existence and binds their life force. Is it steaming? Yeah. Shikik, you said you have observed everything that's ever taken place in Miklan. So if anyone can answer my question, it's you. What did Kamazots do to them? How can I become a guardian of the underworld myself? I see, so you think you need to do the same. Alright, I'll tell you what I saw. I'll tell you how the proper human history heroic spirits, each of whom already had their own underworld to begin with, were assigned to a level of the underworld and became altar gods of Mictlan. Hmm. So is she going to become altar Nitocris altar in this section? It's so smoky in here, but it's not sting stinging my eyes at all. Thank you for waiting, everyone. I'm ready to begin Popol ritual. Normally, I can see everything from Mictlan's second stratum to its eighth, but David has been the exception. Whenever I try to observe him from here, all I would see is a deep darkness. He was there yet not there, present yet unseeable. It was like observing an empty cavern with extremely low atomic density, completely devoid of matter. A cavern devoid of matter, like a supervoid found in the large scale structure of the universe. Does this mean David is wearing some kind of filter that makes him normally visible when he is in front of you, but also puts him in darkness when viewed from a distance? So even as an observer, I haven't been able to witness his actions. The only ones who know what David has been up to are David himself and Mictlan's own time. So to answer your question, I'm going to have you view that time itself. This scent is the Popol ritual, a ritual that connects your minds to Mictlan's. I've set it to begin with Mictlan's from 1 year ago. Please close your eyes and let your body feel the intoxication. With this ritual to the maximum extent possible, you should be able to vicariously experience everything David did in the years since he spoke with me. Okay. So the sun disappeared, but it returned to Mictlan's sky 100,000 years later. I am impressed. I didn't think that Mala would take such an extreme measure. There is no logical reasoning to favor this underground world so heavily, so they are clearly not operating on logic anymore. I guess this is their way of apologizing to all the life forms that let go extinct in proper human history. Thank you, Shiki. Is there anything you need? If there is, I'll get it for you. No, th- then this is a goodbye. I repaired the sluice. You should hire some smaller dinos to maintain it, or it'll eventually fall apart again. So you are the cryptor, and I see you are all alone. Did you really think you could cross this fourth underworld and Mictlan space tree all by yourself without so much as a guide? Yes, exactly. That's exactly how a human should be. There is nothing better or more fitting than being alone. When you're alone, you don't have to protect anyone else. As long as you're strong, you don't need to care about anyone else either. But you should curse me. You should loathe Mictlan, for as long as I, Camazot, am here, no one will ever reach the ninth stratum. Glitchy. Did you want to keep going, Kamazots? I've got two more of those in me. No, let's end it here. Your blood is absolutely revolting. Only a hero can defeat a hero, I admit it. You do have the right to enter Ka- Kalakmuk, Kalakmulu. But I won't let you enter for free, Cryptor David Simvoid. I want to know about your mythology. Tell me all about it. I'm a creature of Mictlan, of a mythology that defeated Earth 6 million years ago and that everyone forgotten today. Proper human history mythology, Lostbelt mythology. I don't care which one is superior. I just want to know about them. I want to know if I existed in your world too. This is a new background. So this is it. I finally made it. As I thought, Ortiz did, but only because it ran out of fuel. If I use lots of high quality magical circuits to close its wound, it'll start up again in no time. Still, Shikik said that the cosmic rays emitted from the bottom stratum would stop in a year, which would be followed by a period of underworld pilgrimage. I won't be able to come here again for another year. I'll need to use that time to make sure I'm ready. Guess I'd better summon a servant. Lost build or not, this is still Mictlan. There should be more than enough of the way of catalyst. Even if I don't count as people of humanity, I can still summon a servant with the power of the land itself. A servant who will respond to my call, who is unconcerned with good and evil, but who approves of war. I've got it. You will be one. You will be the one to help me, Almighty Teskalipoka. So did he just chose Teskalipoka and summoned him? Okay. Blue Teskalipoka. Oh man, I can't believe it. You actually made a human body to possess just to answer that guy's summon. Is it really that interesting? Looks like you and I are both still way too lenient in our trial judgments. Well, whatever. If you gonna back that guy, then I'll back my own allies. Whichever one of us survival, all, whichever one of us survives, it will all be down to luck. See you later, Black Teskalipoka. Good luck using knowledge from proper human history to become supreme in Mictlan. Hey there, brother. How do you like my Mexico City? It is an it is actually better. It's actually got a different name, but this is 2019. If we are gonna say it out loud, it's better to go with the most recent one. The name may be new, but it still looks like an ancient Aztec city. Why don't you make any modern buildings? That was one thing she refused to compromise on. As her big brother, who knows I say, who am I to say no? Anyways, the Osolomas are all set to go, though they'll still need firearms to kill dinos. Right now, I'm just listening some from Koyanskaya, it won't, but it won't be long for me to spin up my own production line. I'll make sure all the Osoloma have the latest in weapons technology. If something can be done, you can do it. Almighty God, indeed. The only thing you are missing is a rival. I'm sorry I couldn't chin up summoning Quetzalcoatl while I was at it. I was. Was it supposed to be a joke? Knock it off. You know it will be all out war if Lady Birdbrain was here. But hey, at least I found someone else I can enjoy playing with in meantime. A Mictlan made Kukulkan. David, I created a underground path to Ort. We can use Dino's heart to supply it with energy. In a year, its wound will have more than closed up. Teskalipoka, I also made my latest candidate. It will be him turning into me over the course of the next year. So be able he'll also be Teskalipoka in a year's time, huh? Understood. Make sure you train him well and in both body and mind. We'll need a clear will and strong ideology if we are going to give out snacks or, or orders. I don't know. I said snacks, but okay. So we will spend this year furthering our goal of destroying this planet and erasing any trace of humankind. What about the other cryptors? Isn't your plan at odds with the foreign god's goal? I don't care. If Vodime wishes, the other Lostbelts will just disappear and us with them. So there is no issue with that. I'm here because fulfill here to fulfill my obligatory. I don't know why I'm reading like this, but so there is no issue with that. I'm here to fulfill my obligations, nothing more. If you have any objections, now is the time to voice them. Teskalipoka. It's not too late to change the plan. Objections? Hardly. Your idea is awesome. I always wanted to see the end of an entire planet. Alright, Sam. We have our very own war, annihilation and banquet to begin. Let's get started. Okay. I would like to do the last node of section 14 now, but I don't have much time, so I'll be stopping here. Next time we'll continue with completing section 14 and probably section 15 as well. So see you guys then. Bye.